Begin, though, with politics. Donald Trump making headlines again by attacking a fellow Republican presidential candidate. Trump telling Rolling Stone magazine, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president. I mean, she's a woman, and I'm not supposed to say bad things, but really, folks, come on. Are we serious?" Fiorina responded to the attack on last night's Kelly File on the Fox News channel.
What do you take that to mean? Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that?
I have no idea. And, honestly, Megan, I'm not going to spend a single cycle wondering what Donald Trump means. But maybe, just maybe, I'm getting under his skin a little bit because I am climbing in the polls.
She sure is. She has seen a steady rise in her national and statewide polling numbers since the first Fox debate back in August. John, will these comments, you think, have an impact on Trump or on Fiorina's campaigns?
Well, not on Fiorina's campaigns, but she's right. I mean, don't spend a single cycle talking about this. It's not in her interest. And your language at the beginning was right, too. It's a gaffe, and it should be perceived as one. It shouldn't be something that somehow the electorate gets behind. At the end of the day, this is bullying. And the Republican Party is dealing with a problem. They're finding that the language in the debate is getting pushed in that direction, kind of more inflammatory, more incendiary, because people are trying to keep up with Trump.
A gaffe is unintentional. This was intentional.
You're exactly
That's
right.
true.
You're
That's a good
exactly right.
point.
But it should be kind of relegated and diminished to that kind of element, as opposed to seen as, politics. This isn't politics. This isn't the issues. And the public eventually is going to say enough of Donald Trump.
I think if he keeps up that kind of language, Sandra, people are going to get really turned off.
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, this obviously isn't the worst of what he said, right? I mean, there's been a lot worse already. And I think there's the camp that thought, well, this was coming. Everybody kind of knew this was coming. We've heard comments that he's made about women in the past, but I don't know. I feel like he would have said this about a male opponent, and he still may. I wouldn't rule that out. So I don't know that this was a man-woman thing. But my interest isn't so much of how Donald Trump is going to respond to this or if he's going to apologize for this. It's more about how Carly Fiorina chooses to deal with this. And so far, she's shown that she's a class act in telling Megyn Kelly that his comments speak for themselves and are very serious. You don't have to say much more than that. Yeah. Let them play out. Whether or not it hurts Donald Trump in the polls, it's not a good thing to attack someone's appearance, man or woman.
But it has a different connotation when you attack a female's appearance. It just does. If you're a big guy with a big mouth,
and he acknowledged that,
a big mouth, and you go after the way someone looks, maybe he's just testing the waters of how far he can push it with Hillary Clinton.
But you know what? I think also people are going to be watching the other candidates to see if anybody comes out and defends Carly and says this is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. There's the word. It's ridiculous. It's a cage fight. It's what Donald Trump is using to appeal to the electorate. And at a certain point, it's going to get old. And as we get closer to the election, people are going to come back to the issues.
And it will haunt him because every woman in this country who doesn't like that talk will bring it up privately when it comes time to vote.
I don't get it either. I don't think of Carly Fiorina as having like anything.
Why would you do it? I can't
because
get
it's easier to talk about this nonsense, about the hair, about the throwing the reporter out of the room, than it is to talk about really complicated issues.
Yeah.
Like entitlement reform, for heaven's sake.
He said, "I won't go after people unless they come at me first." Did she come at him first?
No,
I don't think so.
Look, I think people want to get to the issues. I recognize it's early in the cycle, but most people would like to hear some substance when it comes to tax reform, economic reform, foreign policy, fighting Al-Qaeda.
She did go at him first, and she went at him in the polls. Right? So, I mean, look what he did to Jeb Bush. I mean, we've all said he's the master marketer, the master brander. What did he do? He portrayed Jeb Bush as weak. And look what happened to Jeb Bush in the polls. I mean, he was effective at that. And now Carly Fiorina has steadily risen in the polls heading into this next debate. And what is he doing? Picking on her.
Unbelievable.